the Penske record thus far at the Indianapolis 500. The winningest owner by far now, looking ahead to maybe his 8th Indianapolis 500-mile race win.
His 8th, yes, but at this point last year, although Rick had problems with his car, they were able to fix them, and he was already moving up. They've had 2 chances already to adjust Rick's car in this race, and he is not moving up.
There's the leader, Emerson Fittipaldi, car number 20, out of the Patrick Racing stable as he works his way off of the backstretch and into the 3rd turn. Line around this course, 210, 211 miles an hour. He's laying down a torrid pace.
Emerson Fittipaldi has a very good engineer. It's a guy that I have the utmost respect for. His name's Morris Nunn. He's from England, like many of the other mechanics and engineers, but he takes a different outlook at everything. And during setting up this car during the month of May, it isn't like Emo to be looking at what Penske team is doing. They just get their own way. And as we look at it right now, it looks like his decision must have been pretty good.
It's funny, I don't think last year Emerson Fittipaldi was quite psychologically ready to win the Indy 500. Despite having been world champion twice, this place seemed to awe him. When he was second last year, it definitely opened the door to the possibility of what we're seeing. There's his wife, Teresa. Boy, does she make a great drink, incidentally. Vodka mixed with orange juice and lemon. I mean, it's terrific. And by the way, when they got the car onto the front row of the grid 2 weeks ago, they celebrated with that drink. This team is riding a high. Who knows how far they may ride that.
All right, let's go to the pits now. Jack Arute is with Roger Penske.
Well, a couple of seconds ago we went to talk to Roger and he waved us off, and I think that's a good indication of just how concerned he is about his situation right now. 2 of his top cars are already out with clutch problems. But we checked with Richard Buck, who is the crew chief for this car this year, and he says so far Rick Mears is still setting the pace that they set yesterday in a meeting at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Al Sr., in the meantime, is out of the car, so that's 2 of the 3 Team Penske entries that are out of this 73rd running of the Indianapolis 500.
So the Penske team in battle very early on. Now their hopes definitely lie with this man, the bright yellow number 4 car. It is Rick Mears. In the last 12 years here at INDY, Penske cars have 6 wins, 4 second place. And Mario Andretti is beginning to close in on Mears. Mears occupies 4th place. Mario is closing.
All the bright heads in the Penske crews will get together as soon as they get all Al's car cleared from the pit, Paul. They'll all be trying to figure out what can they do to tune Rick's car during the next pit stop as the race goes on to try to get him more competitive with Emerson Fittipaldi. I think they've got their job cut out for him.
Yeah, I think so too. Roger, you know, is not the sort of person that is upset by not doing well. I mean, I'm reminded of a line about Margaret Thatcher in Time magazine last week. It said, you know, she's somebody that offers you spinach but not candy. Roger does that too. And in times of adversity, he does not become shaken by what's going on.
Rick Mears, the number 4 car, runs in 4th place, but Mario Andretti is closing down. He's closing at about 4/10 of a second a lap.
Well, he certainly is. It's going to take we have a story from Brian Hammond in the pit right now on the tires, Paul.
Bobby, the last time that Mario and Michael pitted, their right side tires were badly blistered. Now, they did not change to the harder compound of the Goodyear tires. All they did was adjust the tire pressure. So they really like the tire, but they don't want to switch to what might be a little bit slower tire in the harder compound. Now, Mario has another problem. When he backs out of the throttle in traffic, he has a misfire. But otherwise, he's okay. Back to you, Paul.
All right. The tires, a concern here always, but they seem to be performing their assigned role here as we continue to watch the defending champions, Rick Mears and Mario Andretti, closing in. Off number 1. Mario continues his closure in through number 2, onto the long backstretch, onto the main stretch.
What's it like in Rick Mears' car right now as we look at it? He knows, obviously, he is being outpaced by a team with an identical car, the Emerson Fittipaldi team. Is he shaken by this? I doubt it very much.
All right, let's go to the pits. Jack Arute is with Al Unser.
Well, as we had reported, a faulty clutch has put Danny Sullivan and now you, Al Unser, out of the contention for the race today and out of it. What can you do when you have a situation like that?
Well, it's heartbreaking for myself and for the crew and for Marlboro. You know, we hate it. But It's just something that happened to the clutch, and that's all I can do.
Yeah, but now, no sooner had you gotten out of the car than they hustled you down here to where Roger Penske is perched in front of Rick Mears' pit. Now, what conversation did you have with him?
All that was to try to, because we've had 2 cars go out with the same problem, to see if I could tell him anything to tell.
There is Rick Mears continuing his fight. Excuse me, I don't mean to interrupt, but we have a good fight going on the race course right now. Rick Mears battling continually with Mario. Let's go back to the pits again.
Well, Paul, as we were talking to Al Unser Sr., Rick Mears is still battling with Mario Andretti, but is there anything that this team now can do to adjust Rick Mears' car to maybe save that clutch?
Well, the only thing he can do is to be careful with it. He can't abuse it when he makes these pit stops. I didn't think I did, but I must have. I don't know why it started slipping.
So as Al Sr. says, most importantly, it will come into play when they enter and exit the pits, and they'll have to treat it very gingerly now, Paul Page.
Well,
all right, Jack Arute.
Of course, now the prospect of Al Unser becoming the first 5-time winner here at the Speedway, not going to happen this year. Rick Mears, of course, still on the track, currently running 4th, has a shot at moving up into a tie with Al Unser with 4 wins.
And Rick Mears still in 4th place, still being chased by Mario.
Now, there's nothing Rick can do with his clutch right now, incidentally. His foot's off the clutch pedal. He just keeps it close to the brake pedal. He's not worried about using the clutch. What happens is it's a hydraulic clutch. The mechanism is hydraulic from the front to the back, and probably just doesn't have enough free travel in it. Sometimes when folks go to the garage, you get your clutches adjusted. That's the problem that they're having with these right now, would be my guess.
All right, Rick Mears works his way around Scott Pruitt and manages to put Pruitt between himself and Mario Andretti. That's Rocky Moran lying just ahead of Rick Mears, the 33 car, who had the problems at the start of the race, as we take a look at Rick Mears blistering up this racetrack. And Mario Andretti stays in pursuit in a fight for 4th place. At the front of the field, it is still Emerson Fittipaldi, and he is being chased by Michael Andretti and Al Unser Jr.
Exactly what the gas mileage is. It's because partially the yellows. They really don't get good mileage readings.
All right, let's go to that pit. Brian Hammonds.
Pulling in without power. Mario Andretti is sitting in what is now a dead race car. They're ready to take the cowling off. They'll probably change the spark box. That's the first thing they change. The engine just died on him, Paul.
All right, so Mario Andretti with a little bit more of a problem. Emerson Fittipaldi, the leader of the race, also made a stop. In doing so under the green flag, turned the lead over to Mario's son, Michael Andretti. Al Unser Jr. fell into 2nd place then, and Emerson Fittipaldi came back out in 3rd place. Rick Mears continues in 4th, but here he is on the pit road and rolling down toward Richard Buck and the Penske team for some fast Penske service.
Now, he already knows that they have clutch problems. He's going to be very easy on his clutch. Possibly they'll even try to give it a little bit more free play. They'll decide whether they can take it. That doesn't look like they're going to do it right now. They can't take the time to do it right now. They have to gamble on going on, and they did.
The car came out of the pits fairly strong. A 14 and 7/10 pit stop as Rick Mears rolls back into the action, and it looks like the clutch there at least is still hooking up. We're on board with the leader, Michael Andretti, right now. It's his way around the speedway as we approach the halfway point at the Indianapolis 500. A new leader for the first time in the race. Michael Andretti taking over the lead, but still, he must make a pit stop. And when he does so, then it is very possible that Emerson Fittipaldi will assume the lead once again.
Yes, indeed. Michael, we guess, maybe has 1 to 2 more laps in the lead, but it's a heady experience to lead this race, even if it's because here's Crawford.
Jim Crawford. Crawford was running in 5th place as he came in for his stop. His Buick engine still working for him, one of the question marks here. Also, as we watch Crawford, 2nd place, Al Unser Jr. rolls into the pits. Flipping his engine, he was running in 2nd place as he rolled in.
Let me make a quick point about the way Al just pulled into the pits. Very organized, very calm. I think this man is pleased with the way things are going and feels in control of the situation. He didn't feel a need to rush into the pits.
And their game plan was not to worry so much the first half of the race, try to be smart, don't get lapped, really come on strong in the second half of the race. And that looks like exactly what they're doing.
Michael Andretti in the lead of the race. Let's go to Brian.
Michael gets 4 new tires. He already has a full load of fuel, waiting to take off. They're holding him just for a second, so the last of the fuel. And you say now, there he goes. Michael Andretti leaves, and the tires don't seem to be blistered. We'll find out exactly what compound he put back on the car.
There's Michael Andretti. His visor is still up. He should reach up. There he does. Closes it.